All right, we have made it. We have created the plan, but now it's time to really start taking action. Okay. So we've done the planning, the strategizing. Now we are here ready to create your greatest year ever. Now, there is a workbook included. Make sure to check out the downloadable link in the descriptions of this module or lesson. So, there are 6 steps or pillars within this where we're going to lift what's on paper, what you pen to paper that you put down and put it into reality. Okay. We're going to review, we're going to preview, we're going to prepare, we're going to set goals, we're going to take action, adjust, and review. All right. So, how do we make this reality? There's a lot of kind of legwork or groundwork, I would like to say, foundation building before things become action, right? So we kind of know what resolutions we've picked and what we're going to use and kind of the steps within that. But before we can do any of this and really make it happen is to review. All right. Now, most of us don't love revisiting moments where things didn't go as planned or even worse, times we felt like we messed up or we failed. But here's the thing, let's drop that idea right now. You didn't mess up. Your year didn't go wrong. Your resolution or whatever didn't go your way. It wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't negative. Life isn't a checklist where everything has to be perfect to be counted as a success. So remember that. Some years are just tougher than others. Some resolutions or experiences or moments, they're just tougher than others, and that's okay. Life moves in seasons, it ebbs and flows. Your first instinct might to be to beat yourself up, but I don't want you to do that. It's normal to feel a little disappointed if the year didn't match your expectations or you didn't hit all of your goals. But being hard on yourself, that's not the move. Because when you start criticizing yourself, it can spiral. It can spiral into a pattern of negative self talk. And before you know it, you've convinced yourself that's just how you're supposed to feel, like you're always failing or falling short. But that's not the truth, and it's not helpful. So here's a shift. This isn't about passing or failing. This is about you and your year. No comparisons, no negativity, just about you. And once you release the fear of looking back, you can start to reflect with clarity and purpose. So, this is what the review is all about. I want you to carve out some time, some quiet time, grab a journal or the workbook, open it up, or even the notes app on your phone, whatever works for you, and think about each month of the year. Break it down into different areas of your life: career, friends, family, relationships, hobbies, creativity, exercise, health, eating habits, overall happiness, personal growth, finances. And for each one, I want you to ask yourself, what went well? What could have gone better? How did you handle these challenges? Would I do anything differently? If you need a little more structure, here's some actual questions you can ask yourself. What risk did I take that I'm most proud of? What's a risk I wish I hadn't taken? What's something I wish I handled differently? What's an accomplishment I'm especially proud of? How did I approach my goals? Could I have done anything differently? What was my biggest disappointment? If I summed up the year in 3 words, what would they be? Was I happy, productive, and excited about life for most of the year? If not, how did I feel? Now, the goal of this exercise and this practice of the review isn't to dwell on what didn't go right. Remember that. It's to reflect with intention. Use this time to understand yourself better. Write it out, record a voice note, or just sit with your thoughts, whatever helps you process and grow. And I want you to remember that you've got this. Reflection isn't just about judgment, it's about learning and setting yourself up for even better tomorrow. So, we're going to be doing a review. So, this is part of taking action, making these resolutions happen. You're probably like a review of what? I want you to review the last year. So, in the instance of filming this video, it is 2024 right now. It's December 31st. As I film this, look back at 2024. Okay. If you're watching this in the future and it's no longer 2024, look back at the past year. Okay. Because reviewing the past and what happened will help you set yourself up for success in the future. Because even though we planned out our resolutions and the goals and dreams and desires we want to happen, we've created the steps and we've kind of gone over what challenges and things might come up. We also want to review how things were in our life so that we're in better alignment. This review is going to help you understand yourself better, right? It's going to help you really tap into the dreams, desires, and passion, and to know a little bit more about you, how you operate. All right. So after you've completed your review, we're going to do a little preview. Okay. So preview and review go hand in hand. They kind of rhyme, right? Reviewing your year is essential because it gives you a solid starting point for the next one. And that's why we did it. So think about it. How can you improve or make meaningful changes without knowing where you stand or where you started? So your review is your foundation. Once you've done that, it's time to shift gears and preview the upcoming year. So we have the resolution, we have the steps, but what does that look like in real life, right? In your day to day. Okay. But let's be clear, this isn't about setting up pie in the sky expectations and crossing your fingers. Hope isn't a strategy. Remember that? We talked about that earlier. Hope isn't a strategy. This is where the strategy starts to come in. We're going to take those plans and start previewing and visualizing your goals and making them realistic so that you can achieve them. What do they look like in your real life and your day to day? We're taking them from paper into reality. So it's like crafting a trailer for your life's next chapter, for your mini movie. I want you to start by sorting. So take a look at your habits, what's working and what's not. Which relationships bring you positivity into your life, and which ones might be holding you back. This process is all about separating last year from next year and deciding what you want to carry forward. So remember that. So I want you to sort things out and figure out what you're going to carry forward from last year into next year. It's a chance to let go of what no longer serves you and focus on what will help you create your best year yet. Once you've spent some time sorting out, it's time to visualize. So I want you to take some time to picture what you want your year to look like. For example, let's say your goals are to save for a new car and run a half marathon, two separate resolutions. We're going to take those and imagine those in your real life. So you would imagine yourself consistently saving the money. These are the steps we talked about to make the resolution happen for the car, at least. You're going to envision and visualize saving money. You're going to envision and visualize building up your endurance on each run that you go outside. What does it smell like? What does it look like while you're running? What are you wearing while you're running? When you're saving that money, what exact actions are you taking? How does the money feel? How much money do you have in your hand? What are the numbers you see as you check your savings account, your rainy day fund? That's the visualization, okay? That's how detailed I want you to get. So really take that time to visualize. What is it going to look like in your real life, your day-to-day reality in this new year? And then we'll fast forward a few months, okay? So let's say we fast forward to June. It's still visualization. You're driving home in your brand new car. You finally got that accomplishment. And I'm saying June, right? Remember, there's that time that's gone by. Paced yourself. You've taken the time. You've set the goals. We did the planning, right? I want you to visualize that. You finally got the end goal. It's June. You're in your car, or you're fresh from crossing the finish line of your half marathon. I want you to feel what it feels like to run through the tape, hear your friends and family cheering you on, getting that medal or that award or that participation certificate. That's the power of visualization. It gives you a clear image to keep you motivated when things get tough. And I want you to be able to fall back on this whenever you're hitting one of those challenging times or one of those reasons why resolutions fail. So that's what preview is all about. So again, I know this is a lot, and this is again why we're taking the time. This is why this is a long term project. Okay. Because you're planning and strategizing. You've picked the resolutions you want to focus on. You're breaking them down into easy, digestible steps or things that you can accomplish from easy to hard. You're making them fun. You're making it experience moments. You're rewarding yourself. But you're also taking a look back at the past. What worked and didn't work for you? Because you want to take some of those things into your new year, into these steps, the strategizing, right? These planning steps. If I know in the past that I'm not the kind of person who does well with taking on multiple tasks, then moving into the future or while I'm doing the planning, I'm not going to do a lot of multiple things at once. Or if I know I'm kind of like a slow and steady person, a slow burn, I'm not going to rush through things. I'm going to keep that in mind as I'm planning and plotting or even in the future, right? So, perfect example, one of my resolutions is to really work on my diagnosis of prediabetes by lowering my, when I do my blood work, lowering those levels. Okay. So I will pick out steps on what I need to do. If I know in the past that I'm a slow burn and I do things better slowly and not fast, yes, I am going to really focus and zone in on that one thing. So the one thing that I might start with is, believe it or not, as I've been doing my research, planning and strategizing, going to bed early. Good sleep can affect your insulin. I know that. So for right now, at least for the next 2 months, I'm going to focus on sleep. Just that, going to bed by one little goal, being in bed by 11:30. I'm a night owl. Sometimes I'll be up till 2 in the morning. But if I know it's not good for my insulin and my sugar levels overall in big picture, that's that little thing I'm going back to. But then I'm going to also take the time to visualize that. What's my nighttime routine look like? I'll visualize that. I'll visualize the clock turning to 11, me in the bathroom doing my nighttime routine. Imagine me in bed at 11:30. Imagine me visualizing me asleep at midnight, right? So I just wanted to share my own personal example with you. But then I'm also going to fast forward and I could see myself in May energized and feeling good, having a great sleeping routine, and being able to move to the next step easily, you know? So that in the fall, when I do my next blood work with my doctor for my annual exam, maybe I've hit another 2 goals within that resolution and I could see my sugar levels going down. So again, that's the power of visualization. Gives you a clear image to keep you motivated. But then going back to all those steps, I just kind of wanted to share how it all fits into the bigger picture. Because this might seem like a lot, but again, that's why I want to give you the time. That's why we're doing this long term. That's why we're taking winter to kind of just plan this out. We're taking this time now, me and you here while we're in this course, to plan this out, chart things out over a long period of time. Really go back to our past and review what works and what doesn't work. Who am I? You know, the who, what, when, where, and why of me. How do I work best? How do I focus? What do I like? What do I don't like? What am I going to do when this happens? Or, I wasn't really good at this. How can you take that into the planning that we're doing here and the visualization of next year? Okay. So hopefully that helped. Now, whether your vision is something like running a race or something completely different, maybe teaching your child to ride a bike or picking up a new hobby like painting, having those mental pictures helps you stay focused. The key is to make it tangible. Attach real specific goals to your vision, okay? Maybe it's saving $5,000 or running on a certain number of miles a week when we go back to that car and marathon example. The more concrete your preview is, the easier it will be to hold yourself accountable. Now, I just wanted to do a little side note about visualization so you really understand it and its power and its importance in this process. Visualization is the process of creating mental images or rehearsing actions in your mind to learn skills or boost performance. The fascinating part is research shows that your brain responds to thoughts almost like it does actions. Isn't that amazing? So when you visualize, it activates the same areas of the brain responsible for motor control, attention, perception, planning, and memory. Essentially, you're training your brain for real life performance, real life action. And again, let's be real here. All of this starts with you. And yes, you might have the support from your friends and family, the community, even me, but we're not going to chase your goals. It's all you. That's your job. So use your imagination to create a motivating vision for your year ahead, one that you can revisit whenever you need a boost. And let me tell you, the benefits are incredible. Mental imagery can really boost your motivation, build confidence, enhance motor skills, prime your mind for success, and help you tap into a state of flow to keep you going. Again, it's a powerful tool to help you step into your best life. All right. So now that you've visualized your year or you've taken that time, it's time to prepare. And I just want to remind you, a great vision is just that, a vision without a plan to back it up. All right. So now that you've visualized your year, it's time to move into preparing. Now, a great vision is just that, a vision without a plan to back it up, just a vision. So we need that preparation. Preparation is what turns your goals into reality. So we're going to take this time to get ready, stay motivated, and set yourself up for success. And I want to remind you that you've got this. So let's talk about preparation. We all know what it means to prepare. Do you ever remember preparing for like a big game if you played sport or studying for exams in school? Even making a meal requires planning. Preparation is the foundation for success. It's what sets you up to win. But here's the thing. Preparation shouldn't feel like a chore. It's actually an exciting part of a journey. It's a step where you lay the groundwork for something amazing to happen. Think of it as a bridge between where you are now and where you want to go. It's that in between. By now, you've probably reflected on your past year and dreamed up what you want to achieve for next. So now we're going to roll up our sleeves and prepare to make those dreams a reality, right? I've kind of been doing this throughout the process. But this step doesn't need to be stressful. It's all about being strategic and intentional. Preparation and action. So let's use a simple action. We'll go back to saving money. It's not enough to just open a savings account and call it a day. You need a clear plan. So we're going back to the one resolution, breaking it into steps, and we're getting really detailed about that plan. We visualized it. So our mind and our body and our spirit and our soul is ready to make it a reality. Even that energy you put into the universe, make it a reality and act on it. But you need actual detailed steps in a plan. It needs to be clear. So this is what I want you to do. So in this example, you would set a goal. How much do you want to save? In the strategy, you would decide how often you'll save and where you'll cut back. You'd also define your why, and that's what I want you to do. What's the ultimate goal? Is it a vacation, a safety net, or something else? So you've got to get really detailed. So going back to your one resolution and the different steps you broke it into, it really detailed on what's going to happen for each of those steps or each part of that resolution and how you're going to make it happen. You visualized it, but what is your why? What is the ultimate goal for this step? Okay. Set those goals and ask yourself these questions. And remember, these small steps add up and create a solid foundation for success. The same applies to any goal you set, not just here for a resolution, any dream, desire, or passion that you have that you want to create, whether it's career growth, personal health, or finding more joy in your day to day life. The same applies to any goal you set, whether it's career growth, personal health, or finding more joy in your daily life. All right, steps to prepare. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Here's how to get started. Take stock of where you are. Start by looking at your current situation. What do you already have? What do you need? Whether it's skills, resources, clarity, knowing your starting point helps you map out your next steps. So again, I'm going to keep referencing everything that we've done. You have the one resolution. You've broken it into 8 or different small little steps or things that you can do. You visualized it. Hopefully you took some time getting to know yourself better, knowing what you like, you don't like, how you do things, and so on. So you can start looking at your current situation now. Taking all of that together, you're going to start looking at your current situation for this one step. What do you already have for this one step to make it happen? Is there anything that you need? Could it be skills, resources, clarity? Because again, knowing your starting point helps you map out your next steps. Okay. So once you've done that for all of your steps in your one resolution, I want you to start thinking about building a support team. So we talked a little bit about community, friends and family who's going to be there supporting you through all this. I want you to really build out that team. And you don't have to do this alone. You can share your goals, what you're doing, your resolutions, your dreams, your desires, your passions with a friend, a family member. Join a supportive community like you are here in the Daily Ritual community, or even find a mentor. That's a huge one. I want you to surround yourself with people who lift you up and keep you motivated. So take a moment to really write out, who is this? What does your support team look like? Who is it? Right? And how can you tap into that? What are you going to let them know about your resolutions and the steps so that they can hold you accountable? But again, remember, at the end of the day, it's going to be all you, but having the support team is really going to help you through. Okay. And being surrounded by people, even like minded people, will help you as well. So, is there a like minded group or community of people that are doing exactly what you're doing? Make sure you surround yourself by them so you can talk about these things, share the challenges, the wins. You could even meet up and work on it together. This is going to help keep you motivated. All right, next up, writing it all down. All right. I know we already kind of wrote down what our resolution is that we're focusing on and breaking it down into smaller bits and pieces. But I also want you to make a list of everything you need to work towards your goals. So don't just put it all in your head like, oh, yeah, I need to do X, Y, Z. I need to get a community. I'm going to talk to Cheryl. I'm going to go down to the library and join this group. Don't just put it all in your head. I want you to write it down. Okay, everything down. And again, this is what the workbook is for. If you haven't downloaded it, download it. The link in the description. Make a list of everything you need to work towards your goal. The skills, tools, connections, the knowledge. Writing it down is going to help you keep focus and accountability. All right. And moving on to focus and details. Let's talk about that. Skills. What do you need to learn? I know we mentioned like write down the skills you need, but is there anything even more specific you need to learn? Soft skills, technical skills, people who can help you along the way. What resources can make the process smoother? Get really detailed and write all this down. Knowledge, do your research. That's a big one. When I shared my example about about lowering my pre-diabetes levels, girl, I have been reading lots of books on health and learning a lot about all the different aspects that affect insulin levels and sugar levels. Like I never realized sleep could be a direct part of that and affect my insulin levels. I didn't know that till I did the research. So do your research. Learning is part of the process. Ultimately, I want you to think of preparation as your launch pad. It's the phase where you organize all your ideas and set yourself up for success. All right, we are ready to take action. We are at the action part. There's a lot of foundation building, taking time to get to know ourselves, reviewing challenges, visualizations, reviews, previews. It's action time. It's go time. Once you've prepped, it's time to move forward. But remember this isn't about rushing or chasing perfection. I cannot stress this the most. We're pacing or taking our time. Good things happen over time. Diamonds aren't created overnight, right? We all know that. It takes years to make a diamond. It's not about rushing or chasing to perfection. It's about intentional action, taking small, consistent steps toward your goals, your dreams, desires, and passions. And I do want to remind you that if things don't go perfectly, it's okay. Mistakes and setbacks are part of the process. I want you to learn from them, and then you're going to adjust your approach and keep going. You're not going to give up. You're not going to fail because we already know that challenges do happen. Remember, we reviewed some of the reasons why people's resolutions don't happen. But the best thing is you can realign, you can adjust and navigate around that. We just have to make a few changes to keep going. Remember, what is your why? Why are you doing this? What's so exciting about this? Tap into that excitement. Okay. Because we're going to make this happen. So let's talk a little bit more about adjusting. Again, I said resolution, goal setting, all of that is a journey, non-destination. Setting goals, it's not just something you can like check off your to-do list and forget about it. You don't just set it and hope it magically happens. It needs your attention, effort, and sometimes flexibility, right? We've got to be flexible. Here's the deal. The path to your goals or resolutions might shift over time. That's okay. You might find a better way to achieve them, work smarter, not harder, or even discover a new goal altogether. That's okay. All right. I shared that I did the whole thing where I moved to New York, became a stylist, did it and chased it for a couple of years after moving here, I think 2, and realized like it wasn't paying off for me. I just didn't even like it anymore. Like my drive and passion for fashion and styling people just went over that time period. I had fun during that. I learned a lot, met so many amazing people, made great contacts in the industry, did some amazing things I never thought I would do. Got to go to Fashion Week, got to style some major brands. I think it was ASOS. Got to work with major photographers, but at the end I was like, yeah, this dream has run its course. The chapter ended, and that's okay for you too. You might discover something new. I discovered this Daily Ritual. Even before that, Daily Ritual looked completely different. It started as an Instagram boutique. That's why it's so important to keep an open mind and adjust when needed. And again, this is a thing in society and in our world we don't talk a lot about. Change is good. Change is good. Making adjustments and tweaks is okay. And if you went after something, chased it, and you realized you didn't like it or it didn't work, that's okay too. But so many great things came for that will apply, that you can apply to the new thing, learning skills, or just great things that came out of it, friendships, network, community. Okay. So I do want you to remember that it's okay to adjust. Now, here's a good question for you. How often should you revisit your goals, look at these, and be able to readjust or take account for if any changes need to happen? How often? So there's no one size fits all answer here for that. The key is making time to review your progress regularly. When you set your goals or your resolutions or these steps in your process, think about how often you're going to check in. I want you to ask yourself, is this a long term goal that will need frequent tweaks? Or is it something you can knock out relatively quickly? Okay. The type of goal determined how often you'll need to recalibrate. So the goals are the steps that you've kind of outlined and created. Think about that for a minute. The type of goal or what's all involved is how often you'll need to recalibrate. Okay. If it's something easier, you can do it really quickly. If it's something that takes a little bit longer, you might need to give it a little bit more time. So to stay on track, set specific time frames for check-ins. Don't just say, I'll look at it later or this week. When this week? What day? What time have you carved out for it? Because later often turns into never, or it just gets delayed. Or like we're saying, delayed indefinitely. So here's an example. If your goal is to earn a certification, that's your resolution, XYZ certification, you broke it into mini goals. You're going to sign up for courses because you've done your research. You're going to complete a practice test because you know that the course requires testing and etc. Okay. You're going to use a simple tracker to check off these steps. And then realize if something feels off, take a step back, reassess, adjust, and figure out how to get back on course. And I don't want you to forget SMART goals. Okay. When you're reviewing and adjusting, think SMART. SMART. That's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time based. SMART. So, specific, is your goal clear enough, right? When we're doing your review and reassessing things, when you're looking back at your one resolution that you broke up in a mini step and you put all these details against it on how you're going to achieve it, what it takes, what you need, is it specific enough? Say you've been 3 months in and you're like, this isn't feeling really good. This isn't feeling really good. I need to reassess. You look at the goals. You look at, month 2 of whatever you're working on. And you realize, you know what, this isn't specific or clear enough. Maybe that's why I'm struggling. You can go back and readjust it, make it clear. Okay. Measurable. Can you track your progress? That's for every part of this process. Can you track the progress in each of these steps of your resolution? And is it realistic? Remember, we talked about this before. Dream big, but we don't want pie in the sky and you can never attain it. And that even zooms into the little steps of each part of your resolution. Is it realistic? So when you're going back and reviewing this, is this realistic? Maybe you're struggling and you're like, oh, I was having pie in the sky syndrome. Or maybe I didn't give myself enough time. It's not realistic enough. I thought I could do this in a month, but it's going to take 3 months. Relevant. Does it align with your overall priorities? And this even goes back to your review of last year and you're looking to this new year. Is it relevant? Is it relevant to you, how you do things, how you show up, what you like, what you don't like? Does it align? Does it align with the overall resolution or just what you want in your life? Maybe life has changed and you don't want that anymore. That's fine. But you wouldn't know if you didn't go back and look at this and do a review, check your goals, and see if it was relevant. I mentioned time time based? Are you sticking to a timeline? Remember, we're giving ourselves enough time. 2 months for each step. And there's all these little mini kind of steps and details and things within each one. Is 2 months enough? And say you fall off and you need a little bit more time. Are you pushing that timeline out and sticking to it? Are you just sticking to it altogether? So these are the criteria you need to keep focused on to be accountable. So how do you adjust your goals? You might be asking, like, okay, I've fallen off. How do I adjust this? I've given a few little examples here and there throughout, this module or lesson. But I want you to let you know that adjusting doesn't mean starting over. It's about tweaking your approach, tweaking. Think of it like picking up toothpaste at the store. You scan the options, reflect on past choices, and weigh new possibilities. It's not a big deal if something you already do naturally. I want you to think of it like picking toothpaste up at the store, right? You scan your options. You want that toothpaste. You pick it up. You look at the information on it. Is this going to work for you? You weigh the possibilities. Oh, this is a great toothpaste. It's all natural. There's no fluoride. It's going to last this long. I love it. I'm going to buy it. You come home, you use it, and you realize, that flavor, not for me. This brand, not for me. I didn't like it because XYZ. That's fine. And that's just what adjusting is. Okay. You check your options. You reflect on past choices. You weigh new possibilities. And again, it's not a big deal if something you already do naturally. And remember, it's not a big deal if it doesn't work out. And adjusting really isn't that hard because it's something we kind of already do naturally. But I want you to remember that it's something that you can do when it comes to your goals. All right. You can step back and look at the bigger picture. What's working? What isn't? Are you still excited about your goal? Okay, those are 3 good questions to use to guide you with your adjustments. And here's a few more. Does this goal still feel right, or do I need a pivot? Am I motivated by it? Is this goal still realistic and achievable? Are there obstacles I need to overcome? Can I aim higher or refine my focus? So those are some questions to consider. Now, adjustments aren't failures, they're growth. They allow you to fine tune your plan and aim even higher. So the bottom line is you're the one holding yourself accountable. Create a system that works for you. Check in regularly and be ready to make changes as needed. With a little bit of flexibility and determination, you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come. I want you to keep going and know that you've got this. So just a quick recap. We went over a lot, but we picked one resolution. We broke it up into smaller steps, 8 to 10 steps. And then we talked about reviewing our past, figure out who we are and what we want, what we desire, how we do things, why we do the things we do, and how that incorporates into planning better and strategizing our different steps of our resolution and our plan. We visualized it so that we can take action and make it almost like muscle memory when we start doing the things and taking action. We also talked about some of the reasons why resolutions fail so that we can better prepare and adjust and pivot and plan accordingly. We went over a lot, and it is a lot, but that's what the time is for. That's what the season is all about, winter, what New Year is all about, right? Those first few months, it's for really taking the time to sit down, take a deep breath, and just plan out what you want to create. What do you want your life to look like? You know, What are some of those resolutions, dreams, and desires and passions you have that you want to create in your life? And again, this doesn't have to just be for the new year. This can be any time in your life that you can use this course and all of the themes and topics that we talked about and some of the practices and questions. I really hope this helps you. And I want to say good luck. Again, we are here for you in the community. Make sure to share your wins, even your struggles and your challenges, so that we can support you. And I'm really excited to see what you create and to have your best year yet. As always, with love and wellness, I wish you the best of luck. And here's to your best year ever.